Hello, hello, my friends, and welcome to the Kim Circle podcast, a sanctuary of truth, transformation, and soul-centered conscious living. I am your host, Jessa Francis, trauma-informed yogi, alcohol-free beverage consultant, holistic shadow work coach, writer, speaker, and a guide for those ready to return to themselves. If you've been with me since season 1, thank you for staying close. If you're new here, I'm so honored that you have found this space. Over the past few months, I have been deep in creation, reshaping the Kim Circle, not only as a podcast, but as a living, breathing community of healing and embodiment. I've built a new framework that helps people move not only through their shadow work, but from awareness into embodiment and from self-doubt into deep self-trust. The Kim is a Gaelic symbol that means sanctuary, a sanctuary particularly of unconditional love and protection. It is the space where you get to exhale. It is the place where you can let down your guard and be truly, fully yourself. So this season, we're going even deeper into the work of reclaiming your story, your truth, your energy. It's the real integration work that happens after the breakthroughs. We'll be talking about shadow work, nervous system wisdom, alcohol-free living, creativity as medicine, and what it really means to wake up and live on purpose every single day. I will also be sharing updates on my latest offerings, including the Kim Circle membership and my one-on-one holistic coaching programs. Because whether you're walking through a season of grief, growth, or reinvention, you don't have to do it alone. If you're ready to go beyond just coping and finally embody the freedom, presence, and peace that has always been yours, this season is for you. So get cozy, take a breath, come as you are. Let's drop in and rise together. This is Unraveling the Self, healing the identity crisis through shadow work and storytelling. Hello, Kim family. Welcome back. Today we're diving into something that has shaped so much of my own healing journey. Identity. Who am I? What is my purpose? These are questions that I have asked myself for decades, and ones I know so many of you have wrestled with too. And when it comes to the question of who am I, that is our sense of I, our identity. For years, I have had what I can only describe as a profound identity crisis, and my name is actually a perfect example. So on my birth certificate, my name is Jessica. And right now there are people, depending on when you've known me, who know me as Jessa, Jess, Jay, Jessie, and even Willow. When I was really young, I didn't like the name Jessica. I thought it was because it was such a popular name and I wanted to be different. But recently I realized the real reason. Jessica was the name my family used when I was in trouble, when I was doing something wrong. So, of course, I didn't want to be called something that made me feel bad about myself. And that right there, that's not just about a name. That's about how we learn from the earliest age to split ourselves into pieces. The good me, the bad me, the acceptable me, and the one I needed to hide. So this identity crisis has permeated my entire life. For as long as I can remember, I have been picking myself apart and trying to put myself back together in a way that would be deemed as worthy, as good, and more than that, something to be proud of. And I know I'm not alone in this. I look out at the world and I see the mass majority of all of us desiring the same things, following the same trends, mimicking others in our hairstyles, the way we dress, the music we listen to. And then we put ourselves into categories based on those likes, right? We're preppy or a rocker, a jock or an outcast, a nerd or the eclectic artistic type, right? And even when we want to be different, we still want to fit in somewhere. We want to be accepted and acceptable. I wanted to be different, but not too different. I wanted to be bold and wild, but only so much as it made me like a North Star, beloved, admired, and magnetic. So let me break down what's actually happening when we experience an identity crisis, because understanding this changed everything for me. So there's 3 layers of losing yourself. So first, there's the fragmentation, where we have learned to show different versions of ourselves in different spaces. The you at work, the you with the family, the you online, none of them feel fully true. And then there's the performance, the constant asking, am I doing this right? Am I being me correctly? Which is kind of a paradox, right? You can't perform authentically. And finally, there's the disconnection, that foundational fear-based uncertainty and confusion around our sense of self. Our personal values blur, our sense of purpose feels foggy, and this leads to persistent self-doubt, difficulty making decisions, a feeling of being lost, and a gradual, painful detachment from the self, from our own intuition. So we lose trust in ourselves, we lose faith in ourselves, and then limiting beliefs start layering on top of that, widening the gap between our true authentic self and the version of ourselves we're trying to be in the world. And there are some powerful limiting beliefs that, for me have been holding me back. Beliefs like, you can't make good money as an artist. Only real lucky special people make it big. You need to be practical. You need to work really, 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 really hard to get anywhere in life. And even then, it may not work out for you. And then also, money is evil. You're not smart enough. You're not pretty enough. And on they go. And all of that has worked at shutting down my biggest and most authentic dreams. You add those in with the understanding that we are constantly in a state of consumption of the outside world, being influenced by everything and everyone else, and it's no wonder so many of us find peace in the matrix. But if we want to break free, if we want to get unstuck, and we want to live this one wild and precious life with more enjoyment, we have to disconnect from all of that and reconnect with the deep, beautiful spark that lies within us. Reconnect with the omnipresent part of our conscious, the watcher of it all, and unburden ourselves from the layers of shame, guilt, resentment, victimhood, and trauma. We have to somehow not care what everyone else thinks is good enough and just be. Just be our truest, fullest selves. But how do we do this? And here's what I've learned. The way back isn't about finding yourself. It's about remembering. It's about excavating what's always been there beneath the conditioning. So I found out this whole thing about my name by interviewing my mother for one of my memoir pieces. So I found all of this information about my name because I was interviewing my mother and asking her about what I was like and what kind of little child I was. I wanted to know about me before the age of 4 because I'm writing a new memoir. I'm doing shadow work. So shadow work has been my pathway home. That's the heart of my work, right? Shadow work, storytelling, and somatic integration. And here's what this actually looks like, right? We start by writing your story, not the highlight reel, but the real one, the moments that shaped you, the beliefs you absorbed without choosing them, the parts of yourself you learned to hide. And through memoir writing and guided visualization, we make the unconscious conscious. And then we bring the body into it, because your nervous system has been keeping score this whole time. So through breath work, movement, and embodied practices, we release what's been stored in your tissues, in your patterns, in your automatic responses. And finally, we integrate. We take those insights and we turn them into daily rituals, new ways of being, actual shifts in how you show up. And this is where meditation, other embodied practices, nervous system regulation, ritual, all become a part of your everyday life. And honestly, how we do it, that's not what matters most. What matters most is how it feels. So shadow work taught me something powerful. Desire, failure, fear, it isn't my enemy. It's a compass. It points us toward the parts of ourselves that we've buried under the shames and the shoulds. And here's the thing, ever since I was a little girl, I wanted a big life. I wanted a grandiose life. And when people would ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I would say a movie star. And for a long time, I carried so much shame around that answer. I thought wanting to be seen and wanting to live a bold and beautiful life made me selfish and delusional. And somewhere along the way, I built walls of guilt around my own desires. I shut all of that off. I didn't even give myself the pass. I didn't even give myself the opportunity. And that's just an example of how we keep ourselves small. Right? And isn't it crazy how we're taught to feel bad for wanting more? More adventure, more passion, more excitement, more life? We start to believe that wanting more means we're ungrateful, that we should just be content with what we have. But that more you crave, it's not greed. It's your soul remembering what it came here to experience. You can be a grateful, beautiful person and still crave more. That's natural. Okay? So if you've been struggling like I did, if you have felt lost, unsure of who you are, what you want, if you're tired of swimming upstream against yourself, this work is for you. But only if you're ready for the transformation. My program is called the Sacred Disruption because it will disrupt things, right? But if you feel like there has to be more to life than this, if you feel guilty for wanting more, if you've been made to feel shame for your desires, I want you to know there is nothing wrong with you. You came here to feel joy, not toxic positivity or denial, but the kind of joy that comes from living in alignment with your truth. You came here to shine, not to spend your days feeling like you're never enough. You came here to be you, wholly, fully, unapologetically. And here's what I want you to go away with today. Your identity crisis isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. My list of names was just an indicator, right? Your identity crisis is a sign that something is right, that some part of you is refusing to keep performing, refusing to keep hiding. all of these names and the fact that I could not just be this person, right? That crisis, it was my soul knocking and saying, remember me. So why do I teach shadow work? Why do I coach it and live it every day? Because it is time. It's time for me to shine. It's time for you to shine. It's time to let go of the shame and the guilt around what you truly desire. Are you ready for more? More love, more joy, more purpose, more truth? Because the more you crave, it will only come when you stop hiding from yourself and finally face what's been holding you back. When you meet your shadow with compassion, you meet your whole self. The radiant, unapologetic you that's been waiting to shine. If this episode has resonated with you, take a moment to pause and reflect. Who were you before the world told you who to be? If you're ready to stop performing and to start living, here's your next step. Join me inside the Kim Circle, my holistic membership community where we do this work together. Every month, you will receive guided shadow work practices, memoir prompts that help you excavate your true story, live integration sessions where we move insights into embodied action, a community of people doing the real work, not just talking about it, tools for nervous system regulation, yoga practices, somatic healing, support as you navigate this self-awareness, as you navigate the embodiment and the spiritual integration. This isn't about another course you'll buy and never finish. This is about sustainable transformation, the kind that actually changes your life. So head over to thekimcircle.com, TheKimCircle.com. Your first month is your threshold. Cross it. You can connect with me on Instagram at Jessa Francis and untoxicated.world. And if this episode stirred something in your heart, please share it with a friend, leave a review. It helps this message reach others who are ready to remember who they really, truly are. Let's all take a big, deep inhale. Exhale, soften your shoulders, soften your jaw. You are worthy. You have it in you to live a beautiful, fulfilling, passionate, and purposeful life. Until next time, breathe deep, live fully, and honor the miracle that is you.